JLA American Dreams. It's just a 3-issue collection of Grant Morrison's JLA run immediately following the New World Order, which was their first arc on JLA. And we covered that. It's about the White Martians coming in and Batman just being so freaking OP.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. And that doesn't stop, by the way. This is, of course, the formation of Bat-God, as Grant Morrison's detractors, or at least Batman's detractors, would affectionately refer to him as. They're 3 very disparate, unconnected stories that are in this collection because they were like, oh, I guess we'll just collect this. But they are Grant Morrison's stories of JLA, so every issue is what would be today a 6-issue miniseries.
Yeah, this is nuts how small this is, and this is 3 separate stories.
Yeah, it's just 3 issues of the JLA run, but Grant Morrison was
And they don't run into each other?
Not really. I mean, they do come one after the other because that's the nature of storytelling, but they're
not... it's not like it's on the heels.
Yeah, there's no big villain.
Okay.
You know, there's no big arc. It's just
here's some adventures.
Here's some adventures of the JLA.
Classic.
Yeah. If you recall, which I'm sure you don't, in JLA New World Order, Superman had a mullet. In between those 2 stories, he went blue and got electric.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And Morrison inherited that and was like, all right, like, I'm sure Morrison did not want to write about blue Superman.
Yeah, no.
But no one did, except for the powers at DC who are like, he's blue now.
Yeah, the edict was make him blue.
Make him blue, make him electric, get rid of the cape.
Make him different.
Make him different.
He's got new powers.
I remember there was a huge write-up in Wizard Magazine about it. We covered Electric Blue Superman to some extent. Yeah. But I remember the Wizard Magazine write-up, like the cover was the new logo and the new suit, and then there was a double-page splash of the new suit and a whole write-up from the DC bullpen that was like, oh man, you're gonna love that he's blue, because the idea was, you know, he died, and they were like, that's the biggest thing he'll ever do, and then he came back, and they were like, well, that was half as exciting as when he died, and then was Superman, but with long hair, and they were like, nah, kind of losing people, diminishing returns, and then like, shit, we can't keep killing him every 5 years, what are we gonna do? Blue. And so, he's blue.
We'll kill his physical body.
Exactly. And Morrison's like, all right, he's still Superman, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, and neither do I. I mean, it's fine. There's nothing about them being blue that contributes to the story. It's just Morrison is sidled with the blueness.
Right. That's what's happening.
Yeah. There's a couple things that happen. He's blue, and Green Arrow died, and his son Connor Hawk is...
Green Arrow died?
Yeah, Green Arrow died. While Superman had a mullet. Yeah, his arm got caught in a machine, in a plane, with a bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Superman showed up, and he's like, I'll help you. I gotta rip your arm off. And Green Arrow's like, I'd rather die.
Right.
And so
it's called a crossbow, man.
Yeah. No. It's
called a
robot arm. In every dark future, you have one arm.
Yes, but if it's a robot arm, like, really, what's the harm?
He doesn't know that
they can just fix it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't want some robot arm. What if it goes evil and tries to kill me?
That's so rare these days, Ollie.
Well, it's like cheating as well.
Yes. Yeah, now I have perfect aim. Ollie would not care. Yeah, no, Ollie
had
would
perfect aim
care.
earlier.
Exactly. He was already great. He would actually be like, oh, I'm 0.0008% off than I was with my perfect meaty arm. But whatever, Ollie, shut up. He's dead now. And the JLA is reformed because, of course, Grant Morrison's whole thing was like, the JLA suck, how about if they're great? And so there we go, where they're great now. And they already had their adventure, and everybody's on board, and the audience is like, holy shit. Like, the JLA's back, I'm seeing my favorite characters, and they're doing stuff. And each issue is just like, holy shit, it's the biggest, newest, awesomest thing ever. Because Morrison is like throwing everything at the wall in every issue. Like, every issue is just like the kitchen sink.
Right.
And again, in today's world, a story from 1997 would be 6 to 12 issues long. Because you could exploit every different part of it.
Yeah, go into insane detail.
Yes.
His character. Was, so JLA had stopped when Superman died? Or?
Yes. Well, no, actually, that's not true. It was originally called Justice League.
Right.
And Morrison came upon it when it changed to JLA. But Doomsday tore a new hole in them, and then they reformed.
A big Superman-shaped hole.
Yeah. Well, and a big booster gold-shaped hole.
No one cares about that.
No, but like.
But it did happen.
It did happen.
And if you were a fan, it probably mattered.
It did, and that book like limped forward after Doomsday's devastation for years. This story opens with 2 robot-building villains named Ivo and Dr. Tomorrow, whose name is Tomorrow. Well, it's T.O. Morrow. His first name starts with a T, middle initial is an O, last name Morrow.
T.O.
Dr.
Couldn't just
Tomorrow.
make his first name Tom
No.
and then Aro?
What's an
Tom
Aro?
Aro.
That's the last name. O-R-O-W.
Yeah?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying I've never heard of an Aro.
Well, I've never heard of Morrow either.
Yeah,
it
but
is a little more of a name
I've never
than
not
Aro.
heard of it.
Only because of this.
Ivo and Morrow have teamed up, and it's just like I guess I like that idea. These two make androids that fight the Justice League, or at least League adjacent characters. So here they are teaming up, and they're toasting to their success.
Is one of them a monkey?
Ivo gets fucked up. He looks terrible. Don't worry about it.
He looks like a monkey.
I know, but he's not.
Okay.
So they build this sexy superhero woman.
Nice.
And they're like, to tomorrow, hooray. And so the story is like, the prelude is that these two evil scientists have teamed up and they've built this sexy lady. The actual opener is that Superman and like two people are at Metamorpho's funeral. Metamorpho is a superhero. We won't get into him.
I think I've heard of Metamorpho.
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit, but he's never really been terribly significant, which is why nobody's at his funeral. And Superman's there, and
He's like, God damn it, where is everyone?
More or less-
Metamorpho mattered.
no, he is not like that. He is more like,
Well, this makes sense.
it's so sad that no one came. I remember a lot of people came to my funeral, and the overseer.
How do you remember that?
Well,
You shouldn't have been there.
well,
You
I
saw
was
a lot
in a
of
coma.
There's
I
a lot of
wasn't-
footage.
Oh.
It was a newsworthy event. He got to see like his corpse get dragged throughout the middle of Metropolis, and
Yeah.
hundreds of superheroes.
He's
show
probably
up.
morbidly fascinated.
Oh yeah, I would be.
It's like the old Mark Twain, Tom
yeah.
Sawyer, looking down on his funeral.
That's right. That's right.
Did he also get to see the fight that, where Doomsday beat the crap out of
Yeah,
him?
did he watch
Did he
footage
watch
of that?
his own fight? He was there. He
No,
doesn't
he
need to
did.
watch
well,
it.
yeah. But it's got to be more surreal watching it from the outside.
I bet it is.
This is where I died.
This is
Almost
where I died, right
Oh,
there.
there's the finishing move.
Yeah, that's the finishing move that knocked me into a Kryptonian healing coma. The priest or whatever overseer is like, to be fair, you guys come back a lot, so no one cares anymore.
I just assume he'll be back.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's back.
Does Metamorpho come back?
Of course.
Okay.
So
And he's not wrong to say that.
yeah, yeah. But Superman finds that callous and he leaves,
Yeah.
and he goes to.
You don't know he's coming back.
Yeah,
he
but you
might
don't know.
not.
We're
He's not a
putting him in
major
the ground.
character.
There are some people that haven't come back.
That's right.
I can't
Precious
name any.
few.
Superman goes to the Batcave. He pops in. This is the first time Batman is interacting with Electric Blue Superman, and Batman's like, "Nice outfit." Like that is his only acknowledgement that Superman is blue.
Right. I guess he probably heard about it.
Oh, yeah, he heard
so
about
he's
it.
not surprised?
No.
He's like, I got to say something.
Right, but it's like, ugh. Like even you could feel Morrison's disdain for this idea, but
From Batman's mouth.
They're a team player, and they're like,
From Morrison's hands to Batman's mouth.
I like that Superman's like, hey Robin, I am 80% sure that Clark Kent does not know Tim Drake's real name.
Hey,
Robin, he's wearing the suit. Thank God. Okay, Robin. Hey, remember that time that we almost killed Lois Lane's sister because she was a vampire? All the superheroes, if they have a lair, have a teleporter that accesses the Watchtower so they could all be on the Justice League and go to the Watchtower immediately. Superman wants to use a teleporter to go to the Watchtower.
Okay.
And
The Watchtower pre-existed.
It-
the
well,
old Justice League used.
in the previous story arc, it did exist on the moon, and basically they like kicked the old guys out.
Oh, okay.
And so the new guard moved in. It's very emasculating.
Where did they go?
Home. You know,
Yeah,
to
they're not Justice Leaguers
to
anymore.
their sealed apartments.
I think I remember. Did we do that story?
We did. Yeah, that was
okay.
it. Where they're like, I guess we're leaving.
Yep.
You sure you don't need anybody else? No, we're good.
No.
We have Flash. Damn it.
Flash is better than all of you. It's
Yeah.
not just Superman could replace all of you.
Flash could
could
do it too.
replace all of you.
Yeah.
He may not be able to fly, but it doesn't really matter.
No. So Wonder Woman is talking to Batman. Batman has no interest in being on the League after that adventure, but he did promise that he would be like a consultant. And he's a consultant the same way that Iron Man is a consultant to the Avengers, in as much as he's a founding member of the Avengers.
And he's always there when
and he's
trouble
always
goes down.
in every Avengers movie.
Yeah,
so
and he's definitely on it, except he says that he's not.
that's right.
Yeah.
Because Batman's like, I have a priority, Mad Hatter's doing a thing. And I'm like, how could that possibly be a priority? But that's the thing is,
Mad Hatter, he doesn't even have any powers.
no, but for Batman, it's like, if it's a Batman adventure, that takes priority over every Justice League adventure. Now, there is no Mad
because
Hatter
it's
comic.
Gotham.
Yeah, exactly. Gotham takes priority over everything else. I have to be Batman and keep the company afloat.
You understand? I'll save the world
Yeah.
to save Gotham.
Right. That's why.
Yeah.
Because that's where we keep Gotham.
Is this adventure going to impact Gotham? Mm-hmm. All right, then I have stuff to do.
Flash and Green Lantern are playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Just killing time.
What, real Rock'em Sock'em Robots?
No,
or
it's
like
a
computer
hard
one?
light construct of Rock'em
Nice.
Sock'em Robots.
So Kyle's cheating and is winning all the time.
I mean, I would assume, but yeah. So,
Oh no, it popped off again. Oh.
so someone's using the teleporter, and they're like, "Oh God, I hope it's not Batman. He's so obnoxious." And it's Superman, but they're also talking about how Superman had long hair and how dumb he looked with the long hair.
Right.
And Superman's like, "So you thought I needed a haircut, did you, Kyle?" And Kyle's like, "Oh." So anyway, they go to their meeting, and they're like, "Yeah, Batman's not coming." And they're like, "Listen, we..."
Good.
Yeah. Well, nobody says that because Superman and Batman are friends. Nobody wants to piss off Superman.
Right.
But so they all sit down and they're like, we need to talk about like establishing ourselves firmly as a team. Like, we're the JLA. We have a table with the comic book logo on it. We should probably like have a drive to figure out like who's going to round out the team.
Yeah, because we have all these extra seats.
We have all these extra seats, and like we could have used some extra help in the White Martian situation.
Yeah, there's 5 open seats. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, they're getting 1.
So they're going to still have 4 open seats.
Yes.
For like visitors and stuff.
Sure, for cameos and guest stars.
Well, some people want some elbow room.
Does
Yeah.
the number of seats indicate how many people used to be on the Justice League
I
of
think
America
so.
before they kicked them out?
I think
of the
that's exactly
Watchtower?
what that is.
That's funny. Like,
Because
well, we don't need as many
That's
people
way
now.
too many fucking chairs.
Yeah.
I hope it's
Jesus.
really not some like deep dive to Arthurian legend.
Oh,
Where
right.
it's just like,
Oh, this
well,
is
this
the
is how
number
many
of
knights
knights?
there were.
I mean, I'm certain it is. The other thing is, you need extra leaguers if you don't have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern on your team.
Right.
well, Batman's
Right, it
going to
had
be busy in
that
Gotham
big.
sometimes.
That's true, but if you are predating the JLA, you are a lame-ass team.
Right.
So they have a recruitment drive. They're talking about like who they wanted. Flash wanted Max Mercury to try out because Max Mercury is a relatively new creation who's also like, we talked about him in one of the Flash stories we did, but it's funny, he gets to be invited.
Oh
And-
no, Aztecs there.
Oh yeah, Aztecs there, because Grant Morrison invented them.
Ah.
But also a bunch of other characters. Yeah, one of them mentions like it would be nice to have a woman on the team besides like
Besides
Wonder Woman. And Kyle's like, yeah, it would
Damn
be
it,
nice.
Kyle.
So Max Mercury shows up and he's like, I don't really want to be on the Justice League. I'm too fucking busy, but I've never been to the moon.
So thank you for
So-
the invite. I declined.
Well, he's like, thank you for inviting me. I definitely accepted it under false pretenses, and I'm leaving.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out, asshole.
So he leaves.
if you're on the moon, do you get to like jump around in like 1/4 gravity and stuff?
I think you need a suit for that. These guys are in a house, like a building.
Yeah, but
So you're technically on the moon, I guess,
Right.
but it's kind of boring. You're just in a building. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, but you look out the window and you know you're on the moon.
And then you see the moon out there.
I guess it's because you get to see Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like they built the watchtower on the dark side
On the
of the
dark
moon,
side, you can
where
never
just
see
space
it.
is space.
Just utter blackness. So Damage shows up from a previous effort to create new characters. Morrison's like, it'd be fun to introduce or at least remind you that characters exist. Hitman shows up, Garth Ennis' creation from Bloodlines, and Martian Manhunter's like, no, absolutely
Next.
This guy smokes. He can't be on the team.
Yeah,
There's very little oxygen up here.
not. Hitman also admits that he has X-ray vision and he really just did it to see Wonder Woman naked.
Oh my god.
All right, bye.
I just wanted to get in range of Wonder Woman.
Yes.
It's my only chance.
Yes.
Yikes.
And I'm like, okay.
Gross.
That's terrible.
So he leaves, and they're all talking about what they just saw and how awful that was, and what a waste of time it was. And then Tomorrow Woman shows up, and Tomorrow Woman is of course the robot that Ivo and Tomorrow
Dr.
built.
Tomorrow, yeah.
But
How come the robot gets to be named after you, Dr. Tomorrow? We're 50-50 in this, aren't we?
yeah, shut up, Ivo. You look like a monkey. So
That's why you're not being part of
Because
the
I don't
naming
look
committee.
like a fucking monkey,
Yeah.
that's why.
you are gonna love Dr. Tomorrow. in this. So Damage broke the ceiling, so Tomorrow Woman shows up and like catches it, and she's like, I'm Tomorrow Woman, am I too late? And then she like helps the League and joins up. They're just like, you're in! Like immediately just like, you're in! And Superman like kind of shadows her, and he's just so taken with her. Not that he's like in love with her, but like you kind of get this like feeling that he definitely has some interest in her.
Doesn't he have X-ray vision still?
Yeah, well,
Wouldn't
kind
he be
of.
able to tell that she's a robot?
Martian Manhunter can read minds.
Yeah, Superman's the
No
least of the
one.
problems with this plot.
No one is like, robot. Like,
Robot,
no,
it's a robot.
Immediately, no one was like, it's a robot. What the fuck is going on
Maybe
here?
they're
No.
trying to be
Diplomatic.
inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do say they want to have more
Isn't
diversity.
she a robot? Shh.
Yeah, whoa.
Okay, she's a robot.
Well, because
it's
Red
fine.
Tornado is a robot, and Dr. Tomorrow built him, so, you know, there's some precedent here
Right.
for synthetic humans.
Also, I read a comic book one time about some guy named Vision.
Yeah, synthezoids.
Right.
But anyway, so there's this orb that's like terrorizing the world, and it's like rolling through like a critter ball, but it's not eating everybody, it's just wrecking things.
Aw.
And the League goes to fight it, and
Man,
they're
that
just
critter
like,
ball is great.
they're like, what the hell is this? Like, it's just a big, crazy orb, and it's like Grant Morrison be like, oh, this orb came from another fucking time, and it's like, okay, whatever. And literally the 2 panels dedicated to the orb, which they call If. And it's like, of course, it's an abstract concept. So they're dealing with this. Meanwhile, they can see Ivo and Tomorrow through Tomorrow Woman's eyes, and they're just in their warehouse.
Apartment, condo.
It's like a warehouse.
Okay.
But
Lair.
they're in their lair, and they're just watching her like all the time, like watching her interact with the Justice League, and they're like, "Ugh." Like Superman keeps giving her words of wisdom and sanctimony, and they're just like, oh my God, listen to him go.
What an ass.
It's even worse than I thought.
Exactly. So
What are her powers?
nebulous and simple. You know, flight, strength, etc.
Does she looks like she's doing like does she have telekinesis?
Telekinesis. She can absolutely have. Yeah. She also has a hidden kind of like, not quite electromagnetic pulse that when she is detonated will kill the Justice League. That's the plan.
she's a bomb.
She's a bomb.
Why didn't they set it off while she was in the room with all of them at the same time?
Excellent question.
Because I want them to accept her on the team
Yeah.
and get used to her, and then she kills them. That way it's even worse.
You can. Oh, there's machinations.
I'm
going
sorry,
on.
yes?
Oh, yes.
Why will a bomb kill Superman?
Oh, it's a special bomb.
Why will a bomb kill Wonder Woman?
Because it's electric
Yeah, it's like
bomb,
a.
and he's electric blue Superman.
Exactly. No, it'll shut off their brains basically. It'll like it's like a brain activated bomb.
Okay.
So she's having a great time and she's doing her thing, and Ivo and Tomorrow are talking about just how like who's better at making fake people. You know, Ivo's like her synthetic skin and her body and everything like that. Like she's really impressive.
I made her super hot. so
She's giving
clearly-
Superman a boner. Like I gave Superman a boner. You know, like listen. And Tomorrow is
Good
like,
job.
sure, she's great looking, but I made the brain, and that brain should be in the Smithsonian because it's so impressive. Like she could practically gain sentience. That's how complicated and intricate her brain is. But I also made sure that the word freedom is not in her vocabulary, so she'll never want or cognitize it. And of course, she hears them talking about it, and she's like, "What?" So anyway, the If orb is just rolling through the world, and it's like by the way, the orb. This story encompasses like multiple days, and I'm like, so this orb is just rolling through, and the League's like, "Well, we didn't beat it today. Good night, everybody." Ah!
And it's like
whoa,
sucking
whoa.
everything up.
It's
It
just
looks like.
9 to 5, people.
yeah.
Is it like it's like that game with the
Oh,
thing,
Katamari.
the ball?
Katamari ball,
it's like
yeah.
Katamari ball.
Yeah. So
Except they don't
How
stay
many
on it,
people
I
are
guess.
dying?
I assume it's millions.
Billions.
Oh, I'm not even gonna get into it. There's a flaming car being sucked up, and it's going to land on Martian Manhunter, and Superman's too slow to catch up to it. So Flash runs up, dismantles the car, and then reassembles it closer to Superman so Superman can catch. I'm like, what? And it's still on fire. Like, it's just, that's the kind of stories, and I bring it up only, it's not important, I bring it up only because, like, that's the kind of Justice League that Grant Morrison wants to display. Like, people's perception of the Justice League, the fact that they're like gods, that they could do anything, that it's these people,
Yeah.
that they have Herculean feats that are rivaled by mythology alone, are Grant Morrison's concepts, and they are putting them on display in these books, and every issue is another like totemic example of why these people are the greatest superheroes on Earth.
Except Superman, apparently, who can't even catch up to a car.
Well, he could have if he wanted to, but he was distracted. I'm sure that's Morrison's approach. So anyway, they're talking about how they can defeat it. Batman calls them on the communicator, and he's like, "Oh, use an EMP and it'll wreck it." And Tomorrow Woman's like, "Oh, I have an EMP that I can use," and she's talking to Green Lantern, and Ivo and Tomorrow are like, "Oh, this is delicious irony. They're going to ask her how she does that, and then she's going to tell them she's a bomb and kill them." Ha 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 ha. And she's like, "I'm afraid, Kyle, that I'm evil, that I'm built by evil people, and I have a nefarious purpose." And Ivo's like, "Oh shit!
Oh, she's ruining the whole thing.
And Tomorrow's like, "Oh yes, it's working." And Ivo's like, "The fuck?" So she herself uses her telekinesis and moves the orb and then dives herself into the middle of it and blows it up and deactivates the orb and of course sacrifices herself. She's still a body, but it's all spent and gross looking when it's all over. So If is now defeated. That's right, the Justice League have defeated the concept of If. Fart. And so she is this husk.
Whoa, the Justice League did nothing.
That's true. Well, Tomorrow Woman was a member of the Justice League.
Yeah.
So
she is gross.
yeah, so she goes flatline, and Ivo is just like, "What the absolute fuck?" And Dr. Tomorrow is like, "Yeah, no. It was actually a personal challenge for me. I invented her brain to be so strong and powerful and intricate that it
And so close to a human mind.
Yeah, that it would gain sentience, and if it was around the Justice League, would be influenced by them and their goodness and morality. Even though I programmed it out of her brain, she would still somehow manage to discover it. She is actually so incredible. I am such a great scientist." And so the whole damn thing was actually Dr. Tomorrow's scheme to prove that he was the better scientist.
I'm just really bad at bodies. I needed Ivo for a body.
I needed Ivo for the body, but everything else is all me, baby.
You understand.
That's what proves he's a better scientist, not the fact that building any kind of brain is 100% better than building skin.
Well, yes, that's true.
You already won.
Yeah. But what's a brain without a body?
You have to understand, every robot that I've ever built is super intelligent and amazing.
Ugly looking.
But it's like a stick figure.
Yeah.
It's just clunky as hell.
I have no artistic ability outside of building brains.
Right.
But Ivo's like, that woman robot cost us billions of dollars. And Tomorrow is like, "Oh, we'll just steal more." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, all right.
Wait, steal? Yeah, you understand, this was my inheritance.
Yeah. Oh my God, what? Well, then I guess we'll steal some more and then help you out, idiot. So Superman picks her up and he's like, "Why did you do it?" And she's like, "File not found." She doesn't have the word for freedom.
Oh.
So Ivo and Tomorrow are celebrating more champagne, and then the Justice League show up and they're like, "You're under arrest."
Retract you.
That's the end.
We're under arrest for what? Saving the world and destroying this orb that was wrecking
For
crap?
building the
Did they cause the orb?
No, the orb was actually the orb was separate. The orb was an unrelated act of aggression. It was from the future. It was collected by the State Department, and then somebody accidentally turned it on, and it went rogue.
So it just so happened that the Justice League just brought in this double agent android creature
could
that
only defeat
had the exact ability needed to defeat the orb that showed up right at that moment.
That's why Grant Morrison wrote the story. The story is in service of that.
Right.
Yes. For Grant Morrison, it's like, I don't care how the Batmobile works. All I know is if Batman drives the Batmobile at water, it'll turn into a boat. But don't try to explain how. Who cares how?
Right.
Who changes the oil in the Batmobile? Obviously, we know it's Harold, but Grant Morrison couldn't care less about who Harold is or that Harold exists because nobody should be asking questions like that because these are stories for children. And then so the story ends where they're burying Tomorrow Woman, and the same efficient from the previous adventure with Metamorpho is like, "I never buried a robot before," and Superman's like, "And you still haven't. Because she was a person."
Oh.
You're like,
what?
"Aw."
But are these statues of all the dead
Heroes.
Yeah.
This is a special superhero graveyard.
Yikes.
Yeah, who's commissioned to make those statues?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
Who's got all the shit on them?
That's Metamorpho.
Oh, that's Metamorpho. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
We just built that we just built that statue.
Yeah.
Morrison's narration suggests that hell exists and it's real, and it's not just like a state of mind, it's also right here in these flowers. And if you look closer at these flowers for this random comatose man, you might just see, and it's Neron! The devil from Underworld!
Oh my god.
And Neron, not Lucifer, is aided by his 2 nightmare-esque demons who are not Brute and Glob, so don't get any ideas here about any Neil Gaiman influence. But there's these 2 demons, and their names...
One is a mohawk.
Yeah, well, because that's crazy. But one is named Gast, and the other one is named Wrath.
Oh. And they have a pet lamprey.
They do, yeah. So
Sweet.
they're just like, and they help out Neron, or they're there for Neron's amusement, whatever. But Neron's having a blast. And while Neron is like cavorting and having a great time, I love, by the way, Neron is like, we glimpse hell. We see Neron and his demons are there, and they're doing their thing, and they're just wallowing in themselves. And then the narration says, stop looking now.
What?
Like, just stop.
Oh.
And so
Stop
it's like,
looking at the flowers, I guess.
it was only flowers. You're not seeing hell. But it was. It's just, I like that idea. It's very hokey.
What?
Yeah, but it's Morrison playing with the convention of reading the comic book. Like the
Right.
comic book is talking back at you
Right.
and making you part of the experience. And let me tell you something.
If you look closely, maybe you'll see it. But stop. It's not actually there.
That's right, but it is. It definitely is, and so, it's just a little secret between us. And if you were reading comics in like 1997 when this came out, you'd never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
And it probably influenced your perception of comics, DC, the Justice League, everything. And so your expectations and perception of this have been influenced and developed by it. So like you come to expect. I mean, the age of subversive meta comics has come, and when it did, it was mostly Vertigo and on the fringe. But this is Morrison being like, this is a AAA selling title, this is a major book, it stars Batman, and I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right.
And you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like to bring that kind of like highbrow idea to like the lowbrow of mainstream comics. But also like it's not terribly lowbrow, and I think Morrison's point is like there's room for all of it. Comics are for everybody.
Right. Would you say it's kind of almost like a throwback to like very old comics?
Yes, I think there's definitely
Like
some
Golden Age
element of
stuff?
like Golden Age books where
It's like, what will happen when so and so, dear
yeah.
reader, like addressing the reader and
and
stuff.
it's so rare to see it done well. Like there's 2 worlds where that works. There's the like there's Golden Age of like silly.
Yeah.
And then there's the Silver Age of Stan.
Yeah.
Stan being like, we're part of an exclusive club, you and me, where I make the comics and you buy the fucking comics.
It's quite the exclusive
That's
club.
just capitalism.
But we're friends, though. Because I got nicknames for you, and I name everyone in the book, and the creators all have personalities, especially me.
And I talk to you weekly in the
Yes,
back.
That's right. That's right. Stan had a column called Stan's Soapbox. So anyway, there's this comet blasting from the heavens, and it's a bewinged character that falls into the harbor. And so Morrison really wanted to introduce Hawkman to the Justice League because Hawkman is cool looking and a fun character. But DC had just ruined Hawkman even further in Zero Hour because they tried to make him less complicated and only made it more complicated. And so they were like, no, you can't use Hawkman. And so Grant Morrison's like,
busy that day.
yeah. Well, and Morrison's like, I want to use Hawkman. And they're like, you can't use Hawkman. So Morrison's like, all right. Because I want to use a bewinged character. So if I can't use Hawkman, I'll use a fucking angel from God. That's right. This is a new character that is introduced to the DC universe. Their name is Zoriel, and Zoriel is a fucking heavenly angel.
I mean, there's demons. Why
Yeah,
not?
you got
Why
Neron,
not?
You got the
We got
literal
Neron. There's
devil.
already established there. So why would that be ridiculous?
Right.
So
It'd be ridiculous if there wasn't a god and an angel.
that's right. And in the DC universe, by the way, God's name is the Presence, but we won't. They only reference it in passing.
Has that pre-existed this?
Yes. Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah, very much so.
All right. So,
So
it's like, I'm just drawn from established DC lore.
yeah. Well,
Maybe
no.
the angel thing was
no,
not
he's making,
previously.
No, Morrison is making it up.
Yeah.
But is at least using established stuff when they would normally say something like God.
Right.
Like the fact that they even reference the Presence is like a deep cut.
Okay.
Yeah, but it still looks like an angel, though.
No. I mean, in as much as
No,
it
I'm
has
not talking about the
wings.
presence. I'm talking about this angel.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
they
but no.
They have wings. They look like a superhero. They look like hawk people.
Okay, but hawk people look like angels.
I guess.
a
No,
little-
they look like
they
hawks.
have, like, masks.
Yeah, I mean, because they're humanoid men and women with wings.
With wings,
Right.
like right on
In
their
as
That's
much
what
as
an
they are
angel
that,
looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah, in popular culture, that's true.
Aren't the hawk people a whole race of hawk people
From
like a planet?
space, yes.
Yeah.
So why couldn't Morrison just use
The
one of
Thanagarians.
those? Yeah,
Yeah.
Thanagarians. That's the word. Thank you.
Yeah, because DC was like, no, because the readers will ask questions.
You can't have the Thanagarians there because we said no Hawkman. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter if
Right.
there's a
They'd be
different
like,
person.
Where's Hawkman? And we don't
Yeah,
want that.
And like, yeah, it'll only complicate things if like Morrison invented a new Hawkman.
right. Yeah,
And it's not going to complicate things to bring a fallen angel to Earth.
You'll tell me, is it? Because it doesn't seem terribly complicated here.
Yeah, it's-
because we do one adventure where there's an angel and then we move on. Later on, Zariel will join the Justice League.
Oh my god.
Which I'm like, okay.
As what?
As an angel.
As an angel. Because, okay, so Zariel falls from heaven, and the idea is that Zariel quits. Because Dogma hasn't come out yet, and so the idea is that there's this angel in heaven, and they quit, and so they get kicked out, and so they become mortal, and they come to Earth.
Okay.
And that's Zariel, and they also retain, like, strength and a healing factor and a couple of powers, just so they're a superhero.
Right. Okay.
And that's just all part of the Presence's plan, I guess. But yeah, so Zariel quits, gets kicked out, or at least leaves, and then is hunted by more angels.
Oh.
So it's a heavenly war in the Justice League. The Justice League is in the Watchtower. It's just Superman and Flash. And Flash is looking at the trophy room, and he's like rearranging it panel to panel. And it's like, oh, that's cute. The two of them are having this discussion because Superman's like, I don't really feel comfortable with me being this icon that people look up to and expect to be infallible. Like, I grew up in Kansas. Like, I'm a regular guy. Just because I'm blue and electric and, I never tell a lie or do anything wrong, doesn't mean that I should be worshipped. And Flash is like, well, like it or not, you're Superman. That's just how it's going to be. Like, people are going to look up to you. You're going to just have to get over it.
I shouldn't be worshipped. I only named myself Superman.
Lois named him. He just didn't argue.
He just didn't correct her.
Yeah, he's not Reed Richards. So Green Lantern catches the comet that landed in San Francisco, and so he holographically projects himself in front of Superman and the Flash, and he's like, it's 5 minutes away, I'm gonna go deal with it. And because Kyle and Wally are young, I guess, they both enter into a kind of young person contest where Flash's like, well, 5 minutes, I could be there in 1, and he runs over to the teleporter, and Superman's like, oh my god. And I'm like, no. Superman would never react to Wally like that. Wally has been Flash for so long,
Right.
unless Kyle is bringing something out of Wally that's making Wally more irresponsible,
Maybe.
which is which is likely. So Flash jumps into the teleporter and he's frozen. He's having a real problem. Maybe there's something wrong with the pattern buffer.
Maybe somebody was coming through it.
No, he didn't get telefragged.
Oh, God!
So Flash is stuck in the teleporter, and Martian Manhunter goes to investigate the fallen angel and meets up with him and discovers the angel can talk and breathe underwater, and so the two of them are greeted then by the main angel who has a name, lackeys, who are probably just as powerful, but not really, and don't have as distinct names, but it doesn't matter. And Asmodel is the bad guy of the story, and is definitely not just a rogue Thanagarian who would have been fighting Hawkman at this time. So,
A bad angel? How's that possible?
well, it's
what?
bad in as much as we're supposed to sympathize with Zariel, so Asmodel's the bad guy.
Right. Also drawn totally evil looking.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
But I guess the idea, and we've seen this before, of course, little Tommy Daggett would say, if you've ever thought about the iconography and descriptions of angels in the Bible, would you ever want to meet an angel? I'm
They
like-
are horrifyingly described.
And I'm like, oh man, I got to make a prophecy reference. Jackpot. Wonder Woman and Aquaman are in the middle of dealing with a previous adventure where they're fighting these bad guys in mech suits. One of them is called Animech, and the other one is called
Another Animech.
Mangatron.
Oh my
I was
God.
gonna say they look like fucking Betamax or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they are
They're definitely Japanese robots.
yes, and well they're mech suits or whatever, and they are total otakus. And that's just the
That's just
adventure
what they are, yeah.
that Wonder Woman and Aquaman are engaged in. And they talk about how they're gonna go their separate ways, and Aquaman's like, I don't know, I kinda like being on the Justice League again. It's kinda fun. And I'm like, wow, all right.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna make fun of you for being excited to be on the Justice League so that you look cool by association. So the angels are like posturing, and they're like, "Yeah, hand over Zariel. He sucks."
I thought Zariel was kicked out of heaven.
No, it's more like he quit. Well, he
fled.
quit and then fled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
can't do
because I
that.
was gonna say like,
Well,
Can't
if
just
you
leave.
quit,
Asmodel thinks you can't do that,
I see.
and so they're just letting him do it.
if you quit, and he's like, "Oh, get out," and you guys go after him and kill
Well,
him.
the presence would never do it. The presence doesn't get involved. So as far as Asmodel and his horde are concerned, like they just get to do whatever they want, and like the presence will decide, in some grand clockwork-like scheme,
Right.
How to intercede. But the fact is, like, the intercession is Justice League. Like,
Yeah.
the world will not be destroyed by angels who are in a holy war to get back one of their own, because the Justice League is there to stop them.
So because the Justice League is there to stop them, the presence has decreed that the Justice League will stop them.
Yeah. Well, the Justice League, they don't know, but it's all
They
part of the
might be
plan.
part of the grand design.
Exactly.
So essentially, the angels are saying we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
if we're
no matter
stopped,
what
it's God's
we want,
plan. Yeah.
it's God's plan.
That's right.
This
That's
is
terrible.
This is angels as beings that don't have direct communion
With God.
God,
Or the
but,
presence.
but have some closeness, but don't necessarily know what the presence actually wants. They're just interpreting it.
Exactly.
They're almost like a allegory for like
The church.
The church.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could tell that Morrison, obviously we're having angelic beings from heaven show up, so they're trying to talk about religion in some way.
Yeah.
I think that it's more about mythology. Asmodel and his friends show up to collect Zariel and then destroy him, and Martian Manhunter's like, yeah, right, I'm gonna kick your ass. And Zariel's like, please, they'll destroy you. Like, this is your chance to leave. Because,
Do you see what's on the end of their stabs? It's fire.
well, and if you touch them, you'll burn.
Oh.
And if you hear their voice for too long, it'll hurt you. Like they are a disaster.
They're bad news.
They're
to
bad
be
news.
around.
Well, because it's like
You're
they're
not supposed to be near them.
No, you're not supposed to be near. They're not supposed to be here unless the world's ending.
Right.
So, the angels like create this like kind of like water vortex. They're all talking on the surface of the ground of the water, and there's like a big wall.
The wall.
Oh, and they reference
They
the fact
parted the sea.
that's what they say. Just like we did for Moses.
Right.
So Green Lantern shows up and he starts making fun of them, and they hit him with some like energy from their staff, and then the water caves in, and Aquaman shows up, and Martian Manhunter gives them a speech about how much they suck. He's like, how dare you throw your superiority in our faces? We're the fucking Justice League. We're gonna kick your ass. We do not do as we are instructed. Blast. and they're like, holy shit. Like, the one that he hits is like, oh my god, our bodies are vibrationally attuned to heal itself, but it's going to take longer for me to heal myself because of the damage I've sustained. It is that, like, you can't kill an angel. You can only slow them down.
Right.
Or you can
They're
stop
like the
them.
Terminator.
Yeah. But, like,
you can kill the Terminator just really hard.
that.
I see.
Yeah, so the Justice League gets involved in Zariel's situation. Zariel talks like a teenager for some reason. I don't know why. Or Grant Morrison's depiction of a teenager, in which Zariel says things like "cool" and like "dude," and
He watches a lot of American TV.
yeah, they do reference
that's why
MTV a lot in this book.
That's why he doesn't like heaven anymore. He's just
Yeah.
like, nah, this place is lame.
This place
He's
lame.
like a rebellious youth.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Like, what kind of angel would rebel and
Yeah.
flee?
A teenager.
A teenager. Yep.
Bingo. So Neron is responsible for.
Oh yeah, Neron.
Yeah, right. Don't
He
forget
was in the book.
Yeah, he was in the book earlier, or was he? No, he is now. Neron asks his demon friends for help, and one of them is like, "I'll do it. Like, I'll help you, but I want something in return." And Neron's like, "Sure." And he's like, "I want the moon. Like, I want to have it. I want to play with it."
What?
Yeah, and Neron's like, "Sure, take it." And we see that like a metaphysical example of the moon appears before Grasp or Thrash or whatever the fuck his name is. And so he grabs the moon, and it's not physically there. Like, he doesn't hold the moon, but he is physically moving the moon metaphysically from where he is. So it's like he's fucking with it. He wants to. So the moon, it comes crashing into Earth. And what are you gonna do then?
And then these angels who are like brothers.
Yeah,
It's just
it's just a bunch of brothers.
So if you're on the moon.
look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just.
that is a wink and a nod. It says Hawkman was supposed to be this.
Yep. There's a little Hawkman on his shoulder.
Yeah.
So if you're on the moon, you don't see this demon grabbing
pulling
you.
it. No.
But the moon does move.
If he were
The
to
moon is moving.
If he were to spin it like a basketball on his finger, the
moon
would
would
suddenly be
spin.
spinning.
That's right. That's
okay.
right.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Weird.
It gets weirder. So
Yeah, I see a
Naturally.
pyramid in the sky.
yes, Asmodel conjures this kind of like pyramid that is where Asmodel's lair will be, and he's going to operate all of his shit from there, and he's going to pierce the veil between heaven and earth and send his legions here because
Why?
like the Justice League is opposing him. He's like, fuck that. So I'm bringing my people in here, and we're just gonna roll in and take shit over, and we're gonna fuck up Zariel, and here we go.
Right.
And Zariel just keeps going like, hey, listen, like this isn't your fight, go away. He's not being self-sacrificing. He's being a pain in the ass. Like he's like he gladly accepts their help, but
Right.
doesn't thank them for it, and keeps telling them that like this
You
is on
probably
you.
shouldn't.
Like you keep getting involved,
Right.
and I
You're-
should tell you that like you're gonna die. You should leave because when Asmodel comes back with his horde, you all are gonna be fucked. And so
But I'm not going to take any responsibility for that or go back
No.
with them to spare you or the Earth.
absolutely not.
No.
So Aquaman is being chased by one of the angels, and they have this fun fight. Aquaman like jumps from one building into a rooftop pool, but smashes through the pool and into the apartment below. And then the angel follows him, and then the angel blasts. It's Aquaman, and then Zariel shows up to help Arthur, and Aquaman thinks that Zariel is Hawkman. Zariel emits a sonic scream.
Nice.
Normally it'd be Scree or Ra. In this place, it's Key,
Key.
and vaporizes his adjourning angel, like his offending
Oh.
angel. The angel is like a shadow against the wall.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you can kill them.
No, because Aquaman's like, holy crap, he's Ash, and he goes, yes. My sonic flash disrupts the frequency of angelic vibrations. It'll take years to restabilize.
Ah.
Like he will come
He
back
will come
together.
back, but not for years.
But not for years.
Effectively, he's dead. He's
Yeah,
out
he
of
is
the book.
dead to us.
You're not going to see
Also,
him
the
anymore.
landlord is going to have a really hard time explaining this mark on the wall.
Good luck, Wayne Industries. Bill them.
A nuclear bomb went off over there.
Yeah.
And there
So
was an angel in front of it. Does that angel ever come back? Does
Nah.
he reconstitute?
No, and I was thinking about that, and I'm like, oh man, what a great opportunity to have that angel show back up and be a villain in something. So Aquaman feels that the tides are changing, so obviously the moon is moving.
Yeah.
Also, the sky opens up, and so we're seeing like Asmodel's chariot pierce through, and it's just a big ship. It's clearly just a Thanagarian warforce, but no, it's actually an angelic spaceship that looks like a
my
blimp,
God.
and all these fucking angels start coming down from the sky, and that's like, all right, that's pretty cool. Like watching evil angels or angels with a malevolent purpose blasting through a pyramidic portal in the sky is pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. And driving a big spaceship, big technological spaceship.
Yeah, and don't forget the moon.
Oh yeah, and the moon
Is
The
coming to
moon's
crash into
it's
Earth.
Coming.
Yeah, that's real bad.
Yeah.
The moon is worse.
Yeah,
How-
meanwhile,
I guess it's moving kind of slow though.
oh yeah, no, it's taking its time.
Okay.
Because
It's taking
like,
its time, but it's also moving like
But it
it's
is
quite
it's
a
a
clip.
minor demon pulling on the moon, so it's like his strength isn't quite there.
So is the demon trying to move it specifically to crash into the
Yeah.
Earth? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like, fuck him, ah ha ha. Like he just wants to fuck with the human race.
So Neron could do that at any time.
Clearly, yeah. But instead, he spends his time with machinations. I believe the idea is that Neron mentions in this book that he wants to, like, he's more obsessed with the art of the deal.
Oh, sure, I have all this immense power and everything, but like, what does that matter when you can manipulate someone?
That.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we saw that in Underworld Unleashed, where it's like, no, it's all about, like, making deals.
Right. But the demon with the moon,
Yeah.
that was not part of his plan.
No.
Because he didn't know that demon was going to ask for the moon.
No, he
But
didn't.
also,
the moon
I don't think it
crashed
impacts
into
it.
Earth.
Yeah.
Well, if the moon crashes into the Earth, isn't that going to impact the whole Earth?
Oh, sure. But Neron
And
couldn't
screw up
care
any
less.
plans that Neron had?
I don't really
for
have any
it?
right now.
I
He's
see.
clearly not busy.
Also, like, maybe someone will make a deal to like get rid of the moon.
Hey, why not?
Oh.
They won't. But yeah, so Green Lantern calls Superman by conjuring a interstellar phone booth and then calls him up. I love the creativity of Kyle. He's just like, I gotta call Superman. So he makes a construct that can. Like, not that he doesn't know how it works.
Right.
Subconsciously, he knows it needs to work, and so it does.
So it
Yeah.
does.
So Superman's like, hey, what's up? And I guess that the method through which Green Lantern makes the construct is a phone booth. But as far as Superman's concerned, he just sees a holographic Kyle.
Interesting. So
But
Kyle
the hologram can get through that thing that Neron put around the watchtower.
Yeah, but it doesn't like also then allow for constructs to get between it and allow that to break.
Right. You can only do it if a construct of a phone is made.
Yes.
So he can't do it directly. He has to come up with some mechanism that indirectly allows the construct through. Because that is a construct, though.
Oh, it is.
But it's appearing to Superman.
Yeah.
That's like if Kyle needed a teleporter to be constructed.
Yeah.
And then like
used it.
And went anywhere.
Yeah.
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 I don't
As
think he
needs to
has
work.
done that, but
Doesn't-
like I guess he could theoretically do that.
What if he's tapping into his construct actually ties into the phone system and uses like satellites and stuff to send a hologram of himself through the normal
Yeah,
communication
but then they'd have to be able
channels.
to conjure holograms.
Well, maybe they can do that. It is the Watchtower.
Oh, that's
maybe
true.
it has a holographic phone built in. He's just calling him on the normal holographic phone that they have.
That's true. That's true. So we get to the next issue. So this one is 2 parters. I mean, it is the invasion of heaven.
Okay.
Right. That's pretty
So-
big. It deserves another
2 issues.
I mean, it's really insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And it's
you gotta
fun.
have.
So we see that Star Labs has like an orbiting satellite, and they're like, "Yeah, the moon is literally crashing into the Earth right now. We don't know what to do." And we just see that Superman like he's stuck on the moon.
Right.
So he just grabs a bunch of big, huge chains and some nebulous technology, just some stuff.
Why would there be huge chains?
That I don't know. So he grabs these huge chains and this nebulous technology that he repurposes from the Watchtower and whatnot. You just see he's just doing stuff.
building stuff.
He's
He's got a
busy.
plan.
He's got a plan.
He's MacGyvering.
Exactly. So Asmodel is like, "Oh, Zariel, I'm here!" And Zara's like, "Oh, I'm here too with my rowdy friends." And so the Justice League's there. So we're seeing like the effects of the moon moving closer to the Earth. And there's like the orbiting satellite from Star Labs. They're freaking out and everything's going haywire. Like,
Right.
isn't the Justice League like on the moon? Why aren't they doing anything? Oh my God! Meanwhile,
Maybe
Neron,
they're responsible.
No.
Justice League kills planet.
Yeah, if J. Jonah Jameson were there. So Neron's like, "That's interesting. That's fun." And he's just watching the demon like pull on it, but he's getting resistance. The demon's like, "What the hell? I'm trying to pull on this moon," and it's like it's pushing back. Like there's some kind of force that's pushing the moon back where it belongs. And Neron's like, "What?
That can't be. The moon.
That can't be." And then we see Superman has built like a machine on the moon that gives the moon its own poles.
Okay.
So it
he's
has
built a big magnet.
Yes, he's built a magnet and he's used, I guess, his own internal blue Superman energies to charge it so that it is negatively charged to the Earth. So it's literally being pushed by the Earth back where it came from. This is a Herculean, like Superman can move the moon. I mean, if Superman were written in 1945, he could just move it himself. But in this case, he is, he's trapped there. There's a force field around him. He can't do anything. Well, yes, I can. I'll build a machine from my own brain that will give the moon magnetic poles that will work and be opposing forces to the planet itself and its poles, and then force the moon back where it belongs.
All right, Ethan, a question for you.
Yeah.
If the moon also had magnetic poles,
Would that
would
happen?
it repel it, or would it just sort of turn so that the poles would be attracted to the right sides?
Neither, because the Earth's magnetic field is not nearly strong enough to move anything.
Right.
Like, except tiny microscopic particles from the sun. That's all it can move.
But the magnetic
and
poles
a needle
of-
floating in a piece of water.
that's true,
Like, you
yeah.
can see how strong it is.
Yeah.
It ain't strong enough to move the moon, and you're on it.
Right.
The moon's out there, so it's like that much weaker out there.
But Superman is giving the moon's poles like supercharging.
Yeah.
So it's really more most of the work is being done by the moon.
Yeah. But it doesn't have a strong magnetic field to push off of.
No,
kinda
that's
what I'm
true.
saying.
Yeah,
so you have
I
a
see.
super powerful magnet and like a little weak magnet.
It's still going to attract.
Yeah.
Or
If
it's-
anything, it would just pull the Earth into it.
Well, it doesn't, and instead Superman achieves
I
this
guess it
incredible
could
feat.
push the Earth away from it as well.
think
So it
that's-
could push the Earth out of its orbit.
Yeah, which doesn't help us, but
I mean, of course, none of that could happen, but
no, but we're just
it's
meant
kind of
to.
fun.
We're meant
And
to
to
see
answer your
this.
question, Ben, I would also think that it would just rotate, just like again, you put two magnets near each other with opposite, and one of them flips around. If you
Yeah.
don't hold it down, it just moves. Well, it's in
That's right.
space. There's nothing to hold it down. So
No,
yeah,
it's
it
true.
would just
It would just move.
spin around and then thunk.
Cool. Okay. That's what the chains were for.
Yeah, what are
To
the
anchor
chains
it.
for?
No, the chains are just on the giant ends of the.
Oh, they're just
poles.
big metal balls.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's made them out of chains. But yes. So Flash realizes that he can vibrate his molecules, so he moves himself
Oh.
He moves himself so that he can move between.
Oh yeah, I forgot about I could do that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That took him like a while, right, to think of that, like
Yes.
several minutes. Isn't time like go slowly for him? So for him, it took like years to think of that.
No, I mean, I think it's more that he can force himself to move faster.
Maybe he wasn't using his fast abilities to think faster.
I think that's what
even
it
though he
is.
should always do that.
He should always be
whenever
doing
he
that.
has a
Yeah.
problem.
But I think it's like anything. You know, it's like he doesn't move fast all the time. He has to force himself to do it.
Yeah,
Right.
think about the fact that if he was always using that, every time he spoke, he would
He'd
have
be
to
fast.
slow down his words
Yeah.
to like incredibly long syllables.
And the Flashes, when they talk to each other, they do talk fast. Like
Yeah,
they
so,
do
like,
use their
They
abilities.
can turn it on and off.
They can.
He just
yeah, but
didn't
they
think
force
to use it.
themselves too.
Or it took him centuries to think of that.
But you know,
One
he
or the
only had-
other.
He had seconds. So he does, and he frees himself. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman and Kyle are just fighting like the hordes of angels, and Jean, Martian Manhunter, has taken it upon himself to kind of like face off against Asmodel and keep him
Right.
like there.
He's like, without Superman, I'm the strongest one,
That's
except
right.
for Wonder Woman.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, except for Wonder Woman.
Well,
Don't worry about
where's
her.
Zuriel?
Zuriel is there with them, and he's just kind of like pooping his Pampers, just waiting.
Kind of not helping.
He's not helping.
Oh, come on, I told you not to get involved, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's there and he's happy to have them at this point, but he's not doing anything useful. So Jean kind of like has his big hero moment with Asmodel to like fight him. Of course, like touching him and fighting him, like he conjures fire and it hurts. It hurts, but he puts up with it.
He's a pretty difficult enemy for John to fight.
Exactly. Exactly.
Not really the ideal leaguer to take him on.
No. So Zariel explains to Green Lantern and Wonder Woman that like they could go to the chariot because the shield that is generated around the watchtower is probably from the chariot.
What's the chariot?
Like that big
That
blimp
big
thing?
ship.
Oh, the big ship. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's they're
Or
calling
the-
it a chariot because like that's old world technology.
Right.
Yeah.
Or old world terminology to use for this like
and that's the same chariot that who was it? Who said
Asmodel uses.
No, in the Bible.
Oh,
is
yes.
it Elijah?
Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
Sees the chariot.
I don't
Chariot
recall.
takes him away or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the prophets. His chariot comes down and he gets in it and then takes him up.
Yes, it was absolutely that shit. But there's also a shield generated around the city, of course, from the pyramid, and Superman can't pierce it. And so we need to get through. We need Superman. Like everybody keeps saying, we need Superman to fight this fucking angel because like we can't.
Right.
And so Zariel tells them like there's a kill switch in there. You just got to get up there, but you can't touch it because it'll burn you and stuff. And they're like, that's fine. So Wonder Woman and Green Lantern go turn off the thing, and Zariel I guess goes with them. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman tells Arthur, basically, if Jean fucks up or dies, you're up to fight Asmodel.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
You're on deck.
Harpoon him.
Well, he actually asked that, and she says maybe you can rehabilitate him.
What?
Yeah. So meanwhile, remember that
You
guy?
know, like you do with dolphins and whales that were in
Captivity?
SeaWorld and
You know, like that
you
movie
rehabilitate
Dolphin
them.
Tail.
Yeah.
Put a tail on it and fix his broken tail.
He's not broken. He's an asshole.
I'm just saying, you know, you're from the water. You rehabilitate
Ah,
things.
I see. So remember that guy in the coma? Well, he wakes up because somebody says Justice League. They're talking about all the nursing staff is like in the coma guy's room.
Yeah.
And they're looking out the window and they're just like, holy shit, things are going down out there. And so the coma guy hears the word Justice League and he proceeds to like drive everyone in the room crazy. Not unlike Dr. Destiny and Sandman. And I'm like, okay, another reference. But everyone's just losing it.
Is this a nurse like making
Hooking
out
up with like a
Oh
cadaver.
my
Yeah,
God.
it's horrifying.
Yikes.
Yeah, blink and you'll miss it. Kyle and Wonder Woman go and they do it and they turn off the thing. The barrier is brought down, and so Flash.
Superman is released.
Yeah, Superman's released. Flash is able to like teleport or actually like launch himself onto Earth because like the teleporters weren't working. He's
He just
unreliable.
ran fast enough that he achieved escape velocity from the moon.
No.
the direction
Flash
of Earth. Oh.
used vibrated his molecules, so he was freed from the teleporter,
Right.
and then used like an escape pod to come to Earth.
Oh, he actually got an escape pod. I
Yeah.
thought he ran to Earth.
No. He's just in there.
Okay.
Aquaman recovers him, and then Jean is like torn to shreds, and then Superman shows up, and he's like, "That's enough, old friend. Stand down. I'll take care of this." And
You're blue. What are you gonna do? Your
That's
powers
right.
are all weird now.
yeah,
Well, they're weak to electricity, probably.
He doesn't even bring up the as far as this is concerned, don't even think about him being blue. Like, Morrison wants to talk.
He used it with the poles thing.
Sure, yes, that's true. Superman would have figured out a way to use his heat vision instead. You know?
Right.
You see this fun full-page splash of Superman, like, fighting against Asmodel. Asmodel yells, yield, and Superman says, never! And it's just, this is the image that, like, justifies both issues. It's Morrison showing you an angel from God being stopped by Superman. Right. And of course, Flash remarks, this is the guy who says he couldn't live up to his own myth. He's literally wrestling an angel right now. But this is one of those things where I imagine, you know, Morrison's like, I have this idea in my head of Superman wrestling an angel.
I want to see it.
I want to see that, but he's blue. But I also don't
fucking blue.
But I don't want to wait, so I'll just do it anyway.
Right. It might be a year or something before Superman stops being blue.
And I want to tell it now.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, continuity is a thing, and I'm participating in it. And I'm a ball player.
Yeah, and to Morrison's credit, like, there's no, like, stupid mechanism by which Superman temporarily gets back to his old outfit.
Right.
Which some writers would absolutely do.
Yeah, no. Asmodel punches Superman, and, like, the force of the angelic blow, like, knocks Superman through realities.
Or time.
Like, back in time.
Yeah, and we see, like...
an earlier version of himself.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the spot where I died, and so we can do, like, the same Doomsday fight, and it's like I'm Superman again, but, like, I'm fighting Asmodel instead. Like, no, we're not doing that, although that would be pretty rad. So...
yeah, it'd be a great one-for-one if he's like, no, I learned from my mistake.
Right, exactly. The fight's gonna be like, what?
Yeah, instead of just, like, exchanging uppercuts, he, like, dodges.
Ducks. Yeah, he's a
hits
smarter fighter.
Yeah.
You know, he remembers his fight with Muhammad Ali and tries that stuff. So Superman, like, fights him, and I love Asmodel being like, "How can you do this? Like, how can you bear the searing light of heaven?" Kyle generates a machine that Wally can run on, like a treadmill.
Machines in this.
Convert energy into sound, and that sound will send, like, a piercing, like, energy scree that will, like, that will change the vibrational frequency of, like, the horde of angels and everything and send them back where they came from.
Does he get that idea from the angel that uses a scree to...
Yeah, except he wasn't there to see that.
Yeah, that was Aquaman.
I think Zariel explains it to them later.
I see. Why doesn't he just build a machine that lets them win the fight?
Right. Well, he basically does.
Yeah,
but, like,
it is a Deus Ex.
Yeah, but the team all works together to do that.
Yeah, but Morrison bothers to come up with an explanation for how it works instead of just saying, you know, it's a miracle.
Exactly. Like we see, and literally in Final Crisis, Superman builds a miracle machine.
I know.
If only Asmodel would be like, you come from a dead planet because that was the Presence's will.
Right.
Yeah.
How are you still alive?
You're not even supposed to be
No, I think that the President's like, yeah, I killed your planet to make you.
Oh.
Like, no, you're the only one who's supposed to be here.
Right.
So everybody gets sent back to where they came from, and the day is saved, and Zariel's like, well, Asmodel will be back one day, I'm sure, but it'll take him a long time to get his forces, and he'll be back in greater numbers. But yeah, they're like,
he
whatever.
never will.
And then Superman's like, hey, you want to join the Justice League? And he's like, no, and he leaves.
Nope. I want to head off into obscurity.
Well, Morrison invented Aztec, and he got his own series. Maybe I'll get my own book. No? All right, yeah, I'll join the Justice League. So that happens later.
I see.
And then we set up.
Is he still around?
Yeah. Well, Zariel's okay. So in Infinite Crisis, again, like, you know, I talked about Morrison being like, oh, the recruitment drive. We saw, like, a bunch of heroes, and then, like, who gives a shit? It's actually about this robot.
Yeah.
Like, Johns was like a recruitment drive, whole issue about them deciding and talking about other heroes.
Yeah.
In this, you know, Zariel exists and is a character, and Morrison will use him, and Zariel will continue to exist and have stories and adventures. But when Johns writes Infinite Crisis, Superboy Prime shoots him in the chest with his heat vision, and he kills him. Now, in
Well,
the
you can't kill him.
Out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, he's an angel. What?
What? Blam. No. And I guess maybe he, like, vibrated differently.
Well, it's Superboy Prime, right? It's
right. Fuck.
Or maybe it's because he quit.
Who quit?
Zariel.
Yeah, so he lost the
he does. So Zariel's concern is that he is mortal. Like, he
Ah,
can die.
Okay, all right. He's not like one of the other angels.
No, who can, like,
He
come back
specifically
eventually.
says you cannot kill.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Zariel can die, and does.
I like that Batman wasn't a part of this fight.
Yeah, Morrison's like, I don't want to put Batman in here. It'd be too hard to explain. I don't want to see...
Oh, hey, heaven, angels?
It exists.
Can you talk to my parents real quick?
Is my mom there? I can imagine, like, Morrison going like, I don't want to see Batman have to justify or deal with angels. So then that wraps up. Neron's like, yeah, that was fun. And
You had almost nothing to do with that.
no. And then the coma guy, he messes around And,
Oh yeah, Coma guy.
yeah, so the Justice League goes to the Watchtower. Batman's like on the Watchtower. The Justice League all arrive. That's the epilogue to the story. And he's like, what am I doing here? And Superman's like, Flash and I felt like Jean really needed time to recover. So like, you're pitch hitting for him. Like you're going to show up. You're going to replace him on this story. And
No,
so
I'm not. Bye.
yeah, and before he gets to leave, they're all struck by a like telepathic wave of like destruction that looks suspiciously like lightning. It's not, but how else am I going to draw this? To knock them all out, and an old classic villain who's been revamped to look cooler appears, who has taken over the Justice League, and he is the Key.
Oh no.
Yeah.
He's the Key?
The Key?
Oh, I don't want to be the Key.
Could he not be the Key?
So the
I've
Key.
never heard of this guy.
No, the Key is like a Golden Age villain that like has periodically come back a few times.
That's Comatose guy?
This is Coma Guy. Yeah.
So Batman was called back so that he could be knocked out and so
And
that
be
he
in
won't
this
be able
adventure.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Oh no! He's gonna wake up and then.
Well, it's
I see. I thought this was a setup so that John is the one because he's
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
one.
he's not there. He's
no.
resting.
Actually, Jean has nothing to do with this, and we have another member of the Justice League who has not yet joined. He's the hero.
Oh.
We're doing a Die Hard.
Okay.
A
Sweet.
Die Hard on the Watchtower. So we see this like virtual program being depicted of Tomare landing on this crystalline planet. And he's
Oh.
dying.
Oh no.
And he's the guardian of the sector, and there's no one else, and so this person happens upon him, not unlike Hal Jordan.
Right.
And he says, "You'll be my successor. Take this ring, and it'll explain everything." He hands it to Kal-El of Krypton because Tomare has crash landed on Krypton. In this reality,
Oh.
Superman never left, Krypton never was destroyed, and Superman Kal-El of Krypton becomes the new Green Lantern of Sector 2813.
But he is the best of all Kryptonians still?
Sure. It's more like, you're here, here's my ring. We just know
he
he is.
coincidentally ended up here.
Yeah. So in another world, Aquaman is swimming around a sunk world, a water world, if you will.
A drowned Earth.
A drowned Earth, yes. In
A
which
sub Diego. Oh wait, no, is this New York?
technically, Sub Diego does exist. It's just over there. But yeah, Aquaman's swimming around, and they're besieged by a horde of villains I wish would return. Meanwhile, in Gotham, on another Earth, in another reality, Batman is 60 and married to Selina, and Tim Drake is Batman, and Bruce Jr. is Robin, and they protect Gotham.
Okay.
And meanwhile, on our Earth, in reality, Connor Hawke is going through an initiation because he's been invited to join the Justice League, and he's at Star Labs. He's going to go teleport up to the Watchtower. No one knows that the Key is up there, and he's fucking with the Justice League.
Oh, sweet. Dr. Ian Malcolm is watching over him.
Oh, I'm not sure. I know what you mean.
Oh my God.
So
Well, also fucking Joseph Stalin is here.
that's
dealing with-
Batman.
Oh my God.
So
Who's Connor Hawke?
Connor Hawke is Green Arrow's son.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew he sounded familiar.
Exactly. And the second Green Arrow. He's his successor.
He's going by Green Arrow 2 or?
Just Green Arrow.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't do that anymore.
Green fletching.
So he's going to be teleported up. I like, this is just a moment I'm going to identify because writers, Connor's like, I don't really teleport. Is it going to hurt? Like, what is this all about?
I'm
And
like
scientist-
Dr. McCoy. I don't really want to do it.
well, no. Dr. McCoy's fear of teleportation is unfounded because it is ubiquitous in society. Like it is inconvenient to expect a shuttlecraft every time.
Oh, is this the...
This is rare. Like this is rare. I would not immediately jump into a teleporter in the
Yeah, but
DC
Superman
universe.
uses it. It's probably fine.
That's true, but Superman doesn't need to use it. He could just fly up.
Maybe he doesn't.
Is this one of those theories of like, does it kill me and reconstruct me, or am I actually teleported?
No one ever asks about
Right,
it.
Yeah, you actually die every time you use
Yeah, well,
it.
it just remakes you up there.
And it has all your memories, so you technically exist, but
Yeah.
the you that went into the teleporter ain't
you're
coming
dead.
back.
Philosophically, you do die.
Yes. So the scientist explains that it feels like rain on the skin, and then you're gone. And I'm like, I kind of like that. I like the idea of it like
yeah.
feeling like it's raining on me, and then I'm
It's a total lie. It feels like every atom in your body
is
being ripped
shredded
apart.
apart and then reconstituted. So
It kind of feels like your whole body is suddenly electrified.
yeah, it feels like dying. So then they send Connor back up to the Watchtower. He's there. It's empty. He's like, hello. Meanwhile, Green Lantern of Sector 2813 of Krypton is doing his thing. He's fighting what is essentially like a living brain that's attacking Krypton. And he meets Hantha, a like beautiful daughter of Krypton, who gives him his digits because she wants to hook up with him later. And we find out that it's a dream.
Her digits.
Yeah, gives him her digits, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." And we turn out it's a dream. It's the Black Mercy. We're doing the Black Mercy again.
Oh, it's the Black Mercy. Okay.
We're doing a Black Mercy episode, but it's with all the Justice League who we bothered to put in this issue. And we're going to do Die Hard.
Right. Is it what they want to see, or is it just something different?
It is something different.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't think that like Superman wants to be a Green Lantern.
No.
Or that Aquaman wants the world to be drowned.
Right. It's not
Unless
their
he
hearts.
did, which would be fucked up.
I agree.
My
and I'm
perfect world is the Statue of Liberty is underwater, and I rule all.
I think that is kind of a little bit what it is. Like, Aquaman's having fun.
Oh, what if it's I still want to be a superhero, but I still want my home planet to exist?
Yes.
That does make sense. And then you also get the same thing with Batman, where it's like, no, I grow old and have a family,
Well, and
and
he
we're
still
still all
has-
Bat people.
He still has to be Batman. Like, at the end of that story, like, he still has to be Batman. So,
Yeah.
like, everyone still has to be themselves.
Right.
But also, they're in this place where it allows them to be that, and it's different. It's also cool because, like, they're all called they're called Elseworlds. And I'm like,
Nice.
but I would like to see them realized because, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
yeah, the key has key robots that are injecting them with a neural virus that will force them to have these dreams because.
And this doesn't tie in with Dr. Tomorrow
No!
and Ivo,
Different
because there's robots.
Different robots.
Is the key known for using robots?
No.
No, Grant Morrison is, though.
Yes, Grant Morrison loves robots. No,
I'm surprised these robots didn't build a machine, and the machine causes them to have
Superman's
these
fighting a
dreams.
living brain machine that's attacking Krypton. So that's already there. So Connor Hawk is on the watchtower dealing with these robots, and he's like, okay, robots. You know, so he's like shooting arrows at them because Connor Hawk shoots arrows with like tips on them that kill you.
Yeah, not green arrows that
Not
have a boxing gloves.
and
Right. I also find it funny because like they're all dreaming. All the Justice Leaguers are dreaming, and
Right.
because they're being injected by robots that have like a techno-organic virus that forces them to have these dreams in the first place, and that channels their energies. Because as far as the Key is concerned, because the Key is a classic Justice League villain who put himself into a coma to help amplify his own mental powers and expand his own brain. Like, he basically put himself into a self-induced medical coma that is also using some kind of, you know, latent technology that is being clearly manipulated for these like dreams that they're experiencing, so that he can he's like, I don't have the mental capacity to defeat the Justice League yet, but if I put myself into a coma where all I have is time for my brain to grow and develop and change and learn and try stuff, then I will. And so he does, and then he's woken up because clandestinely the Justice League were involved in some other adventure, and that snapped him out of it, or it was just time. It was just time. His timer went off.
He's just, I can beat him. I think I could beat him now.
Yes.
I think I learned enough in that coma to beat them.
And that's what it is. And of course, like dreams, he even literally references Dr. Destiny, and I'm like, oh my God. But as far as the Key is concerned, the Justice League always wins. They always find a way.
Right. That's their power.
That's their power, and that's how to defeat them.
Oh, and that's what I want. I want their power to always win.
Yes.
That's-
Well, I'm not going to take their power. I'm going to use their power so that I can win.
Right.
Oh, okay.
By putting them in a simulated dream world where they will win.
Well, I'm putting them into a
siphon
simulated dream world where the world is not right. They will inevitably discover they are in a dream and then wake up, conquering my evil scheme. But the neural virus that's in them will generate some kind of energy that they exhibit, that from waking up and succeeding, the success, that is energy that can be harnessed that I can use to take over the world.
Okay, but they'll be awake when they can beat you then.
Right, but then I will have used the energy of their waking to then take over and
I'll
win.
be too powerful.
Yes.
I've already won because they won.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I win.
Yes. And I'm like,
No.
oh my God.
That's not going to work.
Well, it doesn't work because the Justice League always wins.
Right. So
But-
in the end, they will still win.
Yeah.
They'll get that power, and they'll win anyway.
Well, and it's not like he steals their powers like Rogue to
Right.
win. It's just that he siphons the energies of success into victory himself. Wonder Woman's Elseworld is that Steve Trevor is kicking around and he's Indiana Jones and she's her superpowered sidekick. And the two of them are fighting like Nazis and stealing their gold and stuff. That's their Elseworld.
Her dream is to be a sidekick?
More like he's her sidekick.
Oh, okay.
But he's still Indiana Jones.
But
though.
he's Indiana Jones. So,
And
yeah.
like they're fighting a female Nazi who has the world or a world in a bottle, and I guess it represents like the real world. Whatever, it's boring. What's more fun is that the people of Aquaman's world are being tormented by manta raiders. That's right, Black Manta is now split off into a bunch of fun characters that harass and pirateer the regular citizenry that are survivors of this like hellscape.
Right.
It's like
And
he's taken to the sky.
yeah, yeah, but they are manta raiders.
Black Manta is leaving the ocean behind.
Well, Aquaman took it over. Like he
Oh,
rules.
He forced him into the air.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's fun.
That is fun.
But also, like, humanity is surviving on the surface of the water.
Yes.
Yeah, like Waterworld, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I should also point out that while it seems like these are all taking place on disparate Earths, they're all taking place on the same Earth, which Kal-El discovers while he's like he's in his mom's like whatever. He's in his mom's house.
Can we call him Cal Jordan?
I think we must. So Cal is with his mom, and he's like, "Oh, I disassembled the brain, and I made it into a more amicable thing, and blah blah blah." But I found this place. There's a signal that I found from within the brain here that got my attention, and it's coming from this like neighboring planet, which obviously is Earth in the globe here. Yeah. We're gonna see a crossover at some point. Meanwhile, Connor is fighting the Key, and he's like, "Hey man, I love it because the Key is like, you weren't on the manifest. I don't know who you are." The whole reason why Connor Hawk's here is because Kyle recommends Connor. They're the same age, and they know each other. But they invited Connor to join the Justice League, but really more like they wanted to put him through the ringer and do like an initiation. But this will be one hell of an initiation. And it's not like they all let themselves be defeated so that he could go through this.
Right.
Like, it just happens to be an initiation, a trial by fire, if you will.
Right. Instead of the hazing that they were going to put
Right. They were going to give him a pink belly and...
Yeah, I was going to put him out of the airlock for like 10 seconds.
10 seconds. But
We'll pull you
that.
back in,
Yeah.
but you're going to think you're going to die.
That's going to scare the shit out of
You're
you.
going to feel like you're dying.
Exactly. But yeah, he's like, "Hey, you weren't on the crew manifest. What the fuck?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm Green Arrow, man. Who the hell are you, anyways?" "I'm the Key, man. I've been around way longer than you." And they're like, "Okay." And I'm gonna give you the Key's monologue while he screams at Connor, who's a young character. He says,
Nice.
"Who am I? I'm the imminent master of, well, everything really. I'm the Key, you ignorant junk food MTV moron. Doesn't that mean anything to you? The Key. I'm the Key, man.
Goddamn Batman.
I'm the goddamn Key." So he shoots his Keyblade at Connor and destroys his quiver and ruins
no.
his arrows.
Oh no, you're
No, I'm
nothing without
nothing.
your arrows. I'm green loser now.
So the Key like monologues at Green Arrow, like, here's what I'm gonna do. Here's my whole plan. Here's my whole scheme.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna kill you anyway. So I'm laying it out
Oh no,
on Front
he's
Street.
he's leaving. He monologues and then he walks away. He's like, "I hope you
Oh.
heard that. Anyway, bye. Good luck. I got robots that'll fight you."
I see.
And,
They'll
now you
probably
can't
finish
shoot
you off.
anything at them.
Exactly. So Bruce, in his situation, in his dream, gets a call from Tim that they need backup. Commissioner Montoya
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
really needs backup because the Joker has resurfaced. And the Joker kidnaps Bruce Jr., Robin, and he's old.
I love creepy old Joker with liver spots.
Me too.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
But Tim is like, "Oh my God." I love it because, Joker's got Robin. Tim is facing him as Batman. He says, "Oh God, it's him. It's never going to end." I really like that line because it's like, God, am I in a fucking comic book?
Or a dream/nightmare.
Yeah. Green Arrow is stuck. He's like, "What am I gonna do? I got no arrows."
I gotta fight these robots
He
with my
goes through the
fist.
trophy room and finds a few of Ollie's trick arrows.
Oh
no.
It's like, oh God,
Yes,
gotta use this fucking nonsense.
that's right. And he grabs them and he's like, "Handcuff arrows, net arrows, boxing glove arrows, Dad, you're going to be the death of me. So
What am I supposed to do with this shit?
yeah. So the key
That's
explains like I was this crappy Justice League villain. Here's one of the adventures I was in. Put myself into a coma. Got super smart and have this big plan.
Did that
about
really
victory.
happen? Did he really put himself into a coma?
I don't know
in
if
an
he
issue?
actually did that or if that's like Morrison explaining it between the panels. But
Yeah.
Like a weird retcon.
yeah, I want to say that they retconned it. But
Yeah.
in any case,
Because that would be fucking awesome if in the actual
yeah.
last appearance.
he's like, nah, and then falls asleep. And Morrison's like, hey, I read that. I love this, by the way. He says, people talk of a sixth sense. They have no idea. I'm currently possession of 11 senses and counting. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
I'm
Name
rocking
'em.
11 senses over here, bitch.
Yeah, clearly one of them isn't a sense of modesty. For whatever reason, we're going to repeat the Green Lantern origin because Wally West in his dream is visited by a dying new god named Fastback, and they give Wally a ring, and within it is like this crazy like liquid metal speed suit that taps into the speed source because it's new gods, the source.
I see. Yeah.
Okay.
And the speed source is what gives him his speed, and he looks like
Now he
the
looks like-
original Golden Age Flash because he's the only Flash in his like brain,
Right,
In his,
okay.
in his dream,
Right.
And so he's that's what gives him his power and his ability to speed. But because like when like at the same time every day since he got the ring, the speed source energy is leaking into the world he lives in, and so like people are moving at like huge speeds. So his charge is to help people from like smashing into themselves or each other. It's like it's just this huge like mixed bag of horror.
You're really fast, but
but you make everybody else
constantly
around.
have to save every person on Earth.
Because
Yeah.
they also were getting
From
fast
your
because
power.
you're infecting them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's an actual
Jesus.
dream.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense.
Right. Well then.
Fucking bizarre.
That's every Grant Morrison story. So then Bruce Wayne steps in as Batman. He just blasts through a wall in the Batmobile and pops out. And Joker's like, okay, here's my plan. I'm going to blow everything up because I have terminal cancer and I'm going to die. So it's all over.
Oh,
and he's got
shit.
this bomb on. It's 2 seconds to go.
I like that. That's just realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
That's
definitely
just
Joker.
what he would do. Yeah.
So he's laughing and he's going to blow it up. And suddenly a series of green hard light energy tools go into his bomb vest and disable it.
Oh.
And Superman appears, or Cal Jordan appears, and he uses his ring to just suck Joker into the Phantom Zone. And he's like, "Hi, yeah, he's in the Phantom Zone. Do I know you?" And so their dreams start to cross over.
Okay.
Like the Justice League is starting
It's
to win.
Right. They're starting to form the Justice League.
Yes.
In
Yeah,
the
dream
actual
world.
Justice League.
Right, but
kinda cool.
but once they interact with each other, they start to recognize themselves as their true selves.
they're like,
so they
"I know
realize
you."
they're, oh wait a minute, this is a dream. We're supposed to get the fuck out of here.
We're in a convoluted fucking trap.
Yeah, we're in a goddamn subversive meta text, aren't we?
Ah, shit.
Oh no!
Is
Grant
Grant
Morrison-
writing this?
Let me just move the cover and look at the credits page. Oh, there it is. Yep.
How come Superman doesn't put Joker in the Phantom Zone? Is it because Joker's a
Right.
human?
I think
and
that's.
he's like, I
think-
can't.
I think it's because Batman asked him not to. I think if Batman says
That's
the
fair.
word, he'll immediately send him to the Phantom.
Why would Batman not send Joker? To
I
the
think
Phantom
because
Zone?
Batman believes the Joker can be rehabilitated. I think that at Batman's core, he knows the Joker is crazy and is not in control of himself.
Yeah, one day he can be fixed.
Yes. But of course, as we all know, for The Dark Knight Returns, there's nothing wrong with him that he can't fix with his hands. Oh, one of my favorite lines. Anyway, so Connor saves it. He fights the robots. He beats them. He learns the value of his father's old
dad's
weapons.
stupid
Except not
arrows.
really. He's really more like complaining about it every step of the way, and some of them are very silly. Like he tries to use the handcuff arrows and they miss. He does use a boomerang arrow and it does succeed.
Okay.
Diana ends up in Aquaman's dream, and he's like, "Hey, who are you, Diana?" And she's like, "Yeah, Arthur, it's me." Blah blah blah. So, Flash just is out of the dream and is fine, and he's with Connor now because his metabolism is faster than everybody else's. So he processed that virus faster than everybody else. So he's like,
okay.
"Hey, I'm here."
Why didn't the key think of that?
Right.
Maybe the key did, and he's just like, well, I mean, they have to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
That's how they're gonna win somehow. Maybe that's how.
the key is like, oh yeah, right, yeah, you. But he does like shoot at Flash and knocks him down, and he's like, okay, well, that's fine because like the Justice League is winning right now, and you're you're helping because
Yeah.
you've already succeeded.
Right.
So the Justice League is already starting to like form and understand that they're in a dream and they're going to get themselves out of it. And while that happens, it's going to like create a gateway that I'm going to go through and access all of like time and space and become like unquestioned Lord and Master of reality. So it's going to take about 4 seconds. So, you know, that's too fast for you. And Flash is like, that's 3 seconds more than I need, haha, or whatever. But it doesn't, because like he's the key. So of course, like there's a lock in the gateway. So, you know, Flash can't just run through it.
can't
and
just
stop
go
it.
there, yeah.
Exactly. So,
So he just slams into it.
yeah. But meanwhile, that gateway is opening in all of the dreams.
Right.
And so the heroes are able to walk through those. And so if they do, then the key will win. And so
That means nothing. The key will win.
Well, they go
because
through it, then
if
they
do
win.
it, they
and
generate the
then-
energy that
and
the
then
key needs
he-
in order
and
to
he
open the
wins.
doorway that allows him to get into like, you know, the negative space between worlds or whatever. So they all get their memories back, and it's funny because like they're all like clandestinely in Gotham, like they're all, you know, in the same space now, and they're figuring it out. They're putting it together. Kyle's the last one to show up, and Kyle appears, and he is a big silly 90s mess.
God.
And he is a weaponeer from the Quardians, from the antimatter universe. And
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, jeez.
so his dream is a body horror nightmare. And it's great because he's like,
Awesome.
he shows
Fear
up.
me!
Yeah, he's just like, the Quard, I'm Weaponeer 5000. And oh my God. So he's like, this is your final warning. I will destroy you. And I guess he's influenced by video games because Batman says Nintendo has a lot to answer for. He goes, Kyle, if you were made of antimatter, we'd be exploding right now. Pull yourself together.
Oh my God.
Batman realizes that it's a dream because he's like, I can feel my muscles and they don't feel like a 60-year-old man. Like I know I'm
too
in
strong.
I'm in a younger body.
Yeah.
So this is all a dream. Oh, okay. And then he's like, wait a minute. Like, why would we all be experiencing the same hallucination? And he immediately extrapolates that they're in a shared dream that they shouldn't be a part of, but also yells while he's asleep, don't wake up.
Because waking up will make the villain succeed.
Yes, that's right.
Because I figured out that the villain clearly wants us to succeed, and that's part of his plan,
Yep.
and so therefore we should not wake up.
That's correct.
Well, that's
What?
weird.
So
Because he's Batgod. He
yes.
worked all that out.
he worked it all out in between the panels.
Yeah.
So the key is
Fuck.
just like, okay, I'm going to enter the negative space between worlds, and blah, blah, blah. And then he gets punched in the face with a boxing glove arrow.
What would be
Nice.
great is if, rather than having the other heroes like come in and intercede, is if like something in the dream, so this weird outer force like just appeared so that each one of them started to succeed. So that it was actually the key.
Well, they all are faced with a conflict that they are supposed to overcome. So, like, they are succeeding in their own dreams, and also they become aware of each other, so they become, like, the Justice League and succeed over the adventure of being in a shared dream by a villain. So,
First
like,
they succeed in their individual adventure,
and then
in
they
the
succeed as a
combined
team.
But it
team
would be
adventure.
great if it was like something the key put in each dream, which was like, oh, here, you're going to need this. Like when the dream presented it. And then suddenly like, oh, why would my dream do that for me? Clearly it wants me to succeed. And that's when Batman's like, wait,
Yeah.
all of our dreams wanted us to
Right.
succeed.
Yeah.
No!
No.
That he figures it out for no reason.
That's right.
Okay.
So they
Boy,
put...
it's gonna take a lot of issues to fill
Yeah.
these chairs.
We're not
Or
filling all
one in
those
three.
chairs. Yeah. But they put the key into a medically induced coma.
Oh no! That's what he wants.
Yeah, no, but it's
He'll
okay.
come out even smarter.
They confine him into a perpetually branching fractal maze. It's a
Oh.
mind prison with no doors.
I could have just put him in the Phantom Zone, but I didn't.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, listen, he'll enjoy the mental stimulation. Like,
Yeah.
you know, maybe that he'll be there for thousands of years.
He'll come
as
out
a
and he'll be the Maze Runner.
Great. Batman and Superman talk for a minute. And that's
that
it.
was weird.
More like he's just like, oh, that was a crazy dream. Like I saw Gotham in flames. He goes, don't talk about it. He's like, okay, bye. That's it.
Hey, remember that time that I had that space alien thing on my face that was kind of like this? And
Hey, yeah. I think Morrison is trying to say, like, because with Batman and Superman at the end,
Yep.
like that's where he's like, hey, remember that? Except Wonder Woman should be there
Except
too.
one- Yeah.
So
No.
whatever.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm doing something else.
Yeah. So there you have it. American Dreams, I guess. It's more like 3 random stories
Yeah, the
And
last
then
one's
dreams
about
at the end.
dreams.
with
Yeah.
some dreams at the end. Yeah.
And then some dream stuff happens.
Because I think they call the Angel one Fire in the Sky, which is another great name. You know, so it's like we could have called this anything.
Yeah.
If this is collected anywhere, you can find a copy of it in the comments down below. Otherwise, you can pick it up at any Comic-Con. I know I have at least a couple of these in trades, in floppies, whatever. You can pick
hunt
it up.
for it.
Hunt for it. Enjoy it. That's part of the experience. What Grant would have wanted. He's alive, but he would want you to do it
Grant
anyway.
does want.
Yeah, it's
currently
what they
does
would want right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Grant Morrison approved. Not Grant Morrison approved. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Keep reading. Absolutely not Grant Morrison. I didn't give you any permission.
I actually did approve this, but I'm removing it now.
Yeah.